You don't create wealth by grinding harder. True wealth emerges from building systems that work tirelessly in your place. Most people remain trapped in a repetitive cycle. Wake up, work, collect a paycheck, restart tomorrow. This routine feels standard, even responsible, yet a quiet inner voice suggests something deeper is missing. Real wealth isn't about endless hustle. It's about creating assets that generate income while you're not working. These are silent machines you design once, but benefit from indefinitely. They don't chase money. They construct engines that generate income while sleeping, resting, living. These aren't theoretical concepts, but timeless strategies for building assets that transcend your personal effort and time. The richest people view time, money, and opportunity differently. They recognize how systems can multiply effort, how small beginnings transform into powerful income streams, and how personal skills, ideas, and habits can become perpetual financial generators. A pivotal moment exists in everyone's life, a subtle realization that the current path isn't sustainable. Perhaps it surfaces during a late night after work, a draining lunch break, or that silent morning when the alarm sounds and your body moves before your spirit awakens. It's the moment you recognize you're not living, but recycling the same day endlessly. Society conditions us to believe income requires constant physical presence. Show up, clock in, work hard, hope for advancement. But this approach fundamentally misunderstands wealth creation. Your income shouldn't depend solely on your personal labor, but on intelligent, self-sustaining mechanisms. By understanding these principles, you'll transition from merely working to strategically building. You'll learn to create assets that buy back your time, liberate you from perpetual work pressure, and generate income independent of your direct involvement. This isn't just about understanding wealth. It's about experiencing and implementing it, systematically constructing financial freedom one strategic asset at a time. If you're physically present, your freedom is borrowed, not owned. Real wealth begins with a simple yet profound shift. When you stop seeing yourself as the source of income and start seeing yourself as the architect of systems, you break free. What happens if most people stop working for just 1 month? Everything collapses. Rent, bills, debt, obligations keep rolling in. Life doesn't pause because you need a break. Millions live inside this silent prison, defending it with phrases like, "That's just how life is. I need stability. I can't take risks." But what if the greatest risk is staying exactly where you are? The wealthy see the world differently. Where most people see a job, they see a temporary stepping stone. Where most see income, they see leverage. Where most see effort, they see opportunity for replacement and automation. They understand a critical truth. Your time is too precious to spend on tasks a system, tool, or machine could do. You weren't born to exchange life hours for just enough money to survive. You were born to create, to design, to build something that lives beyond your physical presence. But before building assets, you must confront a deeper reality. How much of your current identity is tied to earning? For most people, the trap isn't financial. It's psychological. We grow up believing hard work equals building a life. But hard work alone never drives wealth. If it did, the hardest working people would be the richest. They are not. Effort without leverage becomes exhaustion, and exhaustion is a silent thief. It steals creativity, clarity, and the desire to dream bigger, think longer, and design wisely. Wealthy people protect their time more fiercely than money, because money can be regained, but time never returns. When you understand this, a new perspective opens. The purpose of work is not to earn, but to build engines that will earn for you later. Liberation doesn't mean quitting your job or rejecting responsibility. It means detaching your survival from your labor. Every successful person, every system builder, every creator reaches a pivotal moment when they declare, "I won't trade my lifetime for income anymore." They understand something most people miss. Income tied to your presence is always temporary. Income designed around your systems becomes permanent. Life offers two paths. On the first path, you work for money. Your earnings directly reflect your hours, energy, and availability. When you stop, your income stops. The second path flips this dynamic. Money works for you. Your time becomes the seed, your systems, the soil, your assets, the trees. You build once, and fruits keep returning season after season. Whether you're working, resting, traveling, or sleeping, the machine continues generating income. Most people remain on the first path not due to lack of intelligence, but lack of awareness. No one teaches them they can switch paths. No one explains that income isn't something you chase, it's something you build. Breaking free starts with a transformative question. What if my time wasn't the source of my income, but its architect? This question can fundamentally shift your life's trajectory. You begin thinking longer, slower, smarter. Suddenly, opportunities become visible, skills that can become products, knowledge that can transform into assets, ideas that can develop into systems, platforms that can automate work. The world has changed dramatically. Technology has democratized creation. You no longer need permission, capital, or prestige to build something enduring. Anyone can become an asset builder by learning to think like one. This journey starts by separating your value from your labor, your identity from productivity, your income from personal presence. In that moment, you stop being controlled by the clock and become its master. This is the first step toward a freedom sensed in quiet mental corners, a freedom built on structure, ownership, and strategic design, not just effort and survival. Most people chase income by working harder, longer, and sacrificing more. They believe more effort equals more money, but this approach has limits. We're constrained by 24 hours, finite energy, and mental bandwidth. Effort might help you survive, but systems build wealth. A system is anything that continues producing results long after the initial work. It could be a business, content, property, digital product, automated service, investment portfolio, or compounding habits. The key is continuity, something that works even when you're not. Wealthy individuals understand money doesn't flow to the hardest worker, but to those who build the smartest structures. Consider a farmer. He can spend days carrying water buckets to his field or build an irrigation system that flows forever. Most people carry buckets. The wealthy build pipelines. Many avoid this approach because it challenges their comfort zone. Your current life reflects your existing systems, or lack thereof. If everything falls apart when you stop working, you're powered by effort, not design. And effort, however admirable, remains temporary. Systems introduce leverage, the ability to create more output than input. This is the silent engine behind every fortune. A YouTube video earning for years, a rental property generating passive income, a digital product selling automatically, an investment compounding independently. These are leverage in action. Leverage transforms your decisions into workers, ideas into employees, and creativity into engines. The wealthiest people aren't wealthy because they work harder, but because they design smarter systems that work for them. Wealthy people leverage systems, not just effort. Most people are stuck chasing immediate results because no one showed them another path. Schools, jobs, and society continuously praise hard work, but the world actually rewards systems. An employee thinks in hours. An entrepreneur thinks in assets. An investor thinks in compounding. The wealthy think in decades. While effort provides instant gratification, systems create long-term growth. People cling to effort like a lifeline, even when it slowly depletes their potential. Here's the critical truth. If your income depends on your personal effort, you're always limited. But when your income is tied to systems, you can grow beyond your current constraints. Time is the great equalizer. Everyone gets 24 hours daily, yet some people feel spacious and calm, while others feel overwhelmed. The difference? Systems. Systems create time. Systems multiply time. Systems protect time. Imagine parts of your life running automatically. Income, content, investments, distribution, marketing, while others constantly react. You're building a life that responds for you. Wealth isn't about luxury. It's about relief. Relief from pressure, fear, and constant hustle. Systems transform life from survival to sovereignty. Wealth builders shift from labor to architecture. To build wealth, stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a designer. Workers ask, "How much can I earn today?" Designers ask, "What can I build today that will earn for me every day after?" Workers think in tasks. Designers think in systems. Workers earn once. Designers earn forever. This shift requires only awareness, not genius or privilege. Once you view the world through systems, you'll see them everywhere. Apps, franchises, online courses, automated stores, successful creators, investment portfolios. The world runs on systems. You just haven't been building them. You don't need millions, degrees, or permission to build systems. All you need is time, consistency, and the courage to start small. Simple systems can take many forms. A digital product that sells automatically, a YouTube channel earning from 1 or 2 videos a week, a blog collecting traffic for years, an email list selling while you sleep, an investment portfolio growing quietly, or a habit system compounding your skills. These are small machines, but over time, small machines become massive engines. People often misjudge what they can build in a year of consistent system design, while overestimating potential earnings from a single day of effort. This is why systems win. The uncomfortable truth about systems is that they require letting go of control. Effort feels safe because you're directly involved, but systems seem uncertain since they must operate without your constant intervention. Freedom, however, demands release. You cannot simultaneously hold and control everything. Let go of beliefs that constrain you. The idea that you must do everything yourself, that income must be instantaneous, that hard work alone leads to wealth. When you release these beliefs, you become free to create. You're no longer just a worker, but a builder. This isn't about working less, but working differently. Work with intention and foresight. Create things that continue functioning without your direct involvement. Once your life runs on systems rather than pure effort, everything transforms. Your days feel lighter, choices expand, the future becomes clearer, and long-carried pressure dissolves. This is the first law of wealth. Effort creates moments, systems create freedom. Time is the most mysterious currency in human life. Everyone has it, everyone spends it, but only a few learn to use it advantageously. Most people measure time in hours. The wealthy measure time in outcomes. Most ask, "How long will this take?" The wealthy ask, "How long will this pay?" Most trade time for money. The wealthy trade time for systems. This subtle yet profound shift creates the invisible divide between survival and accumulated freedom. Time isn't something you have, it's something you design. Time is a currency that depletes without return. Unlike money, which can be regained or replaced, time vanishes silently, unnoticed by most. Every hour not invested in compounding growth is an hour lost forever, gone with its hidden potential for creation, learning, design, and expansion. The fundamental difference between financial stagnation and creation lies in how people approach time. Most individuals try to control time by cramming more tasks into their day, believing that more work, more hustle, and more grinding will yield results. But this approach only breeds exhaustion, not opportunity. Wealthy individuals operate differently. They don't race against the clock. They expand what the clock can deliver. A worker mindset earns only when physically present, limiting 24 hours to 24 hours of value. In contrast, a builder's mindset can transform a single hour into hundreds of hours of output through systems, content, automation, investments, and intellectual property. The goal isn't to manage time, but to free it. Hard work isn't the danger. Stagnant tasks are. Most people live in a repetitive loop. Today's work, today's pay, tomorrow's pressure. They never examine the cost of this cycle. Tasks that die the moment you stop doing them, tasks that pay only once, trap people in temporary results. The wealthy understand a crucial truth. A life powered by tasks can never create freedom. Only systems can. Every year spent working without building means being paid once. Every year spent constructing systems means being paid forever. This explains why some people work decades without advancing. They're trading time instead of multiplying it. This mindset shift transforms your relationship with time. Instead of asking, "How much can I earn today?" the focus becomes, "What can I build today that continues earning even when I sleep?" It's about living outside time's boundaries, aging into leverage rather than exhaustion. Some people spend years working strategically, ultimately unlocking lifetime independence. This isn't about luck. It's about understanding how time truly works. Compounding isn't just a financial concept. Its real power emerges when you invest time into systems that grow exponentially. Consider how a single hour can transform your future. Recording a YouTube video might generate income 1,000 times longer than its creation. Learning a valuable skill could become a lifelong income engine. And setting up automation can save hundreds of future hours. The critical difference lies in perspective. Wealthy individuals don't simply ask, "What does this hour pay?" Instead, they ask, "What does this hour build?" This fundamental shift can completely alter your life's trajectory. Most people dramatically misunderstand time's potential. They believe they're choosing stability by waiting, but they're actually choosing stagnation. Delaying asset building isn't just about losing time, it's about losing future freedom's compounding potential. With every month you hesitate to invest, future returns shrink. Every day you avoid creating systems, your potential time contracts. Each year you postpone developing a digital asset or personal brand, your reach diminishes. The clock isn't working against you, but it certainly isn't waiting. Most individuals overestimate daily achievements and underestimate yearly potential. Wealthy people reverse this thinking, mastering patience, repetition, and consistency. The quiet architects of freedom. Wealth cannot emerge from constant urgency. A worker's life drowns in deadlines, tasks, and pressures. A builder's life cultivates intention, strategy, design, and systematic investment. Prosperity springs from deliberate choices, not reactive responses. Breaking free from urgency represents the first step toward reclaiming your time. Wealthy mindsets protect focus, decline distractions, and choose depth over noise. They think in decades, not days. Where a poor mindset sees the present as a burden, a wealthy perspective sees it as a seed of potential. Your future isn't determined by what you do today, but by the systems and foundations you're building right now. The journey to wealth begins with understanding time. It's not about having more hours, but owning the ones you have. Wealthy people seem calm not because of money, but because of their relationship with time. Every hour they invest today expands their freedom tomorrow. When you shift from consuming time to investing it, something profound happens. You start feeling different. The investment feels calmer, more intentional. It's like planting something alive that will grow beyond you and eventually take care of you. This moment is pivotal for anyone building wealth. Time isn't your enemy. It's the raw material of wealth. How you use, invest, and protect it determines the life you'll live. You can always make more money, but time is finite. So invest your time in building things that generate more money, not things that consume more of your time. Most people fail at wealth building, not because they lack effort, but because they don't understand what to build. They confuse busyness with progress, consumption with ownership, status with stability. They buy shiny objects, hoping these will produce value. But a flashy liability remains just that, a liability. True assets work silently and faithfully. They don't scream for attention or impress strangers. Understanding wealth means grasping a simple yet profound equation. An asset puts money into your life, while a liability takes money out. This sounds straightforward, but its simplicity is deceptive. The essence of an asset goes beyond textbook definitions. It's about the energy it carries, the purpose it serves, and the freedom it creates. Your new relationship with time starts now. You'll see time differently, recognizing its cost, leverage, and power to either trap or liberate you. Wealth is not about what looks good. It's about understanding how money moves. Assets and liabilities aren't defined by appearance, but by direction. Money can flow toward you or away from you. A house, a car, or even a small subscription can either build or drain your wealth. The key is tracking where your money goes after you acquire something. Why do people confuse liabilities with assets? First, society sells comfort instead of freedom. People buy things that make them feel good right now, not things that will set them free later. Second, liabilities are loud and visible. A flashy car turns heads. A luxury phone impresses everyone. Assets, however, are quiet. A rental property or a dividend portfolio doesn't scream, it whispers. Wealthy people choose these whispers over loud purchases. The third reason is emotional decision-making. People buy upgrades for validation. They chase trends to build identity. They seek convenience as an escape. But true assets aren't built on impulse or temporary pleasure. They're constructed through clarity and long-term thinking. Cash flow assets consistently send money to you through rental properties, dividend stocks, digital products, online courses, or intellectual property. This income arrives whether you're working, sleeping, or traveling. The second category includes assets that appreciate over time. Real estate, index funds, rare collectibles, and well-positioned digital brands grow in value. This appreciation is a silent multiplier that transforms ordinary people into long-term owners. Understanding these principles shifts how you see financial opportunities. It's not about price tags, but about value flows. Salaries create fear of tomorrow. Cash-flowing assets breed confidence in every season. This perspective doesn't just change finances, it changes how you view the world. Wealth becomes predictable, repeatable, and scalable when you understand the true nature of assets. Wealth isn't just about making money. It's about protecting and growing what you've built. The equation of forever money involves three key elements: cash flow, appreciation, and protection. Cash flow gives you freedom. Appreciation creates growth. Protection ensures survival. Most people misunderstand this fundamental principle. They don't need to develop all three aspects simultaneously. Instead, focus on cash-flowing assets first. They're the engine that powers and funds the other two. The real barrier isn't a lack of resources, but a lack of identity. The wealthy see things differently. They view every dollar as a decision, every skill as potential, and every idea as raw material. Their guiding questions are, what can I turn this into? How can I make this work for me? How do I multiply this instead of spending it? Protection is an often overlooked form of wealth. Think of assets that stabilize and safeguard your money: gold, government bonds, cash reserves, insurance, diversified funds, legal structures, and trusts. These aren't necessarily fast-growing, but they shield what you've accumulated. No empire survives without walls and defenses. The core principle of true wealth is simple: own more than you earn. Ownership comes in many forms: a system, a process, a platform, a product, a skill, intellectual property, or distribution channels. Money isn't meant to be held, it's meant to be deployed. When you shift your identity, your behavior changes. The wealthy understand that ownership pays you forever and frees you from trading time for money. Your life becomes a pursuit of ownership, not income. Instead of asking, "How do I make more money?" you start asking, "What can I build that keeps paying me?" This mindset separates financial freedom from financial dependence. Every purchase becomes an opportunity for strategic thinking. Your goal is to transform every resource into something that works for you, continuously and consistently. Ask yourself, does this feed me or drain me? Will this still matter in 10 years? Is this something I will own or something that will own me? Does this give me time or take my time? These questions serve as a compass, steering you away from fleeting excitement toward lasting prosperity. This is how wealthy people think, choose, and maintain their wealth. Wealth isn't about luck, it's a philosophy, with assets as its physical manifestation. Understanding assets isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Contrary to popular belief, most people assume wealth starts with abundance. Mora sees it differently. Wealth actually begins with a decision, not a dollar. Every person who eventually builds freedom starts from a point of having less than enough but chooses to begin anyway. Wealth doesn't belong to the privileged, it belongs to the persistent. Persistence starts with small actions repeated consistently, even when they seem too simple to matter. Over months and years, these actions become the architecture of a financial life that feels effortless and expansive. This is about how ordinary people with ordinary incomes create extraordinary futures, not through risky bets or lucky breaks, but through intentional design and the courage to start exactly where they are. You don't need more money. You need a better strategy. People often delay investing, starting a business, or building assets, waiting for perfect conditions that never arrive. Those who build wealth understand a critical truth. You don't wait until you're ready. You become ready by beginning. If your income is small, your decisions matter more. If your resources are limited, your discipline becomes priceless. If your time is tight, your consistency becomes your superpower. Starting small is not a limitation, but the very foundation of growth. Seeds may look insignificant, yet they contain entire forests waiting to emerge. Your first $10 saved, your first $20 invested, your first digital product, or your first attention-grabbing online post all carry immense potential. Money doesn't care about quantity, it responds to direction. Wealthy individuals don't focus on their current amount but on how to multiply what they have. While the average person spends for immediate comfort, those building wealth invest for long-term expansion. Wealth creation unfolds in 3 natural stages that apply universally regardless of income level. Initially, when capital is scarce, creativity becomes your primary currency. This first stage involves building assets through time, creating content, writing guides, offering freelance services, starting blogs, growing online audiences, or developing digital products. These efforts cost little, but can expand infinitely with consistent effort. Your time becomes equity, creativity becomes investment, and persistence becomes compounding. As income becomes modest, the second stage emerges, automating wealth. Here, you consistently contribute to index funds, purchase fractional real estate shares, buy dividend stocks, establish emergency reserves, or reinvest digital work earnings into better tools. Small, regular contributions of $20 or $50 weekly become powerful through uninterrupted rhythm. Consistency always trumps intensity. The third stage begins with income growth, shifting from accumulation to acceleration. You might acquire rental properties, expand online businesses, create high-value digital products, strengthen personal brands, outsource tasks, and automate larger system components. Your initial small steps now reveal their hidden strength, transforming into an unstoppable growth snowball. People often underestimate compounding's power because its progress feels invisible. There are no fireworks or instant rewards. Compounding isn't designed to excite you today, but to liberate you tomorrow. A simple $25 saved today can become something remarkable with time and strategic direction. Small steps might seem insignificant, but they're actually the gateway to lasting wealth. The world's most powerful forces often start quietly, yet most people never begin because small beginnings feel pointless. Consider how wealth truly develops. It's not about having massive resources right away. A digital empire can start with a single post. A real estate journey begins with one disciplined savings habit. A business can emerge from mastering one skill. A retirement fund can grow from consistently investing just $20. The average person fails not because of circumstances, but because of impatience. They crave the rewards of Chapter 20 while still living in Chapter 1. Wealth doesn't reward impatience. It rewards consistency and steady progress. Your existing resources are powerful tools. Your phone can become a studio. Your laptop, a production house. A skill can transform into a service. Your voice can build a brand. Knowledge can become a digital product. Discipline can generate generational wealth. The key is not perfection, but progress. Perfection suffocates action, while imperfect steps compound over time. Starting small creates space to learn, adjust, and improve. Everything remarkable begins humbly. Here's the profound truth. Your first asset isn't what you create or invest in. It's who you become during the process. The moment you start building, even at the smallest scale, you transform your identity. You become someone who invests, creates, owns, thinks, long-term, plants, seeds, and waits patiently. This personal transformation is the real foundation of wealth. Money simply follows. You're no longer waiting, you're beginning. And beginning is the most powerful financial decision you can make. Small isn't insignificant. Small is strategic. Small is the doorway to forever wealth. You don't need more money to build assets. You need direction, structure, rhythm, and the courage to start now with exactly what you have. Wealth isn't created by the rich. It's created by those willing to take the first step. A digital revolution is underway, giving ordinary people unprecedented power. Your bedroom, laptop, phone, and simple ideas are no longer just everyday objects. They're now wealth-generating tools and modern freedom factories. Gone are the days when building an empire required skyscrapers and massive capital. Digital assets have become the great equalizer. Indifferent to your background, education, or privilege, the only thing that matters is the value you produce, and that value can be created from anywhere. These invisible machines of modern wealth work continuously. Videos playing while you sleep, guides selling without your presence, content generating income long after you've closed your laptop. They prove that your time doesn't have to be the source of your income. Your ideas can be. The first step isn't technical. It's emotional. You must believe that your knowledge, experiences, and potential have inherent value. Most people never start because they underestimate their uniqueness, assuming their stories are ordinary. But nothing in your life is truly common when viewed from the right perspective. What feels obvious to you might be a revelation to someone else. What seems simple to you could be a solution for another. Digital wealth begins the moment you recognize the value already within you. Your task is simply to package it. Once you embrace this truth, everything changes. Your voice becomes a resource. Your thoughts transform into raw material. Your creativity becomes equity. You're no longer just using the internet, you're building on it. The next step is choosing your digital assets form. While paths vary, they converge on one destination: scalability. A YouTube video can be watched millions of times without consuming an extra hour of your effort. An ebook can sell globally, working continuously. Digital assets carry an incredible power that transforms how we create, work, and generate value. Unlike physical endeavors limited by personal capacity, the digital world offers infinite potential. Your reach becomes global, and your opportunities have no ceiling. The journey of building digital assets requires patience and understanding. In the early stages, progress feels slow and invisible. You'll create content that initially seems unnoticed, videos with few views, posts without engagement, products with minimal sales. This isn't failure, it's the fundamental process of growth. Every successful digital empire begins in obscurity. Consistency becomes your most valuable asset. Each piece of content, a video, article, product, or insight, acts like a brick in your foundation. Some bricks might land softly, others more powerfully, but every single one contributes to the structure. Gradually, these accumulated efforts build something substantial enough to support income and eventually wealth. Automation represents the ultimate transformation of digital assets. Imagine systems that work continuously, sales pages converting automatically, scheduling tools posting content while you rest, email sequences building trust independently, and payment systems collecting income instantly. Once automated, your digital assets free your time, allowing you to create, innovate, and expand without trading hours for results. The magic reveals itself in unexpected moments. A payment notification appears on your phone. New subscribers populate your platform. Someone from across the globe messages you, expressing gratitude for something you created months earlier. These experiences demonstrate that digital assets generate more than money. They create impact, freedom, and the most precious resource, time. Scaling is the fourth crucial step in digital asset growth. When your digital creation resonates with 10 people, the goal becomes expanding to reach thousands. The digital universe inherently rewards amplification. Digital platforms offer unprecedented reach. A single post can cross continents. One idea can ignite a movement. A digital product can connect with more people in a single day than a physical store might reach in an entire year. This explains the rapid compounding of digital wealth. Technology multiplies your creations, propelling them further and faster than traditional business models ever could. Diversification becomes essential in this dynamic landscape. The internet is in constant flux. Platforms emerge and disappear. Algorithms change. Trends come and go. To survive, you must build a comprehensive ecosystem. Connect your YouTube channel to a product. Link that product to an email list. Develop long-term relationships. Create a brand that exists beyond any single platform. This approach protects and strengthens your digital empire. At the core of digital wealth lies personal brand. People don't purchase content. They invest in connection. They buy trust. They are drawn to authentic, consistent, and meaningful personalities. Your voice becomes your primary asset. Your values serve as your guiding compass. Your presence transforms into your competitive advantage. Building digital assets transcends mere income generation. You're creating a legacy, transforming your mind into a marketplace, turning experiences into an economy, converting your bedroom into a headquarters. Eventually, when your systems operate seamlessly and assets work silently in the background, you'll realize a profound truth. Everything you needed was already within reach. The tools existed. The ideas were present. The potential was waiting. You didn't require a building. You didn't need external permission. Wealth wasn't a prerequisite for beginning. Only belief, consistency, and the courage to create something enduring were necessary. Every person carries a hidden form of wealth, not defined by certificates or job titles, but by lived experiences. Your true value emerges from instincts, strengths, insights, and abilities refined through years of work, curiosity, and personal growth. Digital assets represent the new frontier of freedom, transforming you from a mere consumer to an active builder in the digital world. Your skills are far more than mere tools for survival. They are the raw materials of wealth, waiting to be transformed. Most people never realize this potential, using their abilities only to earn a temporary salary. But when you start seeing your skills as tools for creation, everything changes. What comes naturally to you might be incredibly valuable to others. Those abilities you've collected without even noticing, communicating clearly, solving problems quickly, teaching patiently, organizing beautifully, writing effortlessly, these are your most underestimated currency. The real transformation begins in your mindset. Instead of asking what job you can get with a skill, start asking what asset you can build. This shift has changed thousands of lives, turning employees into creators, workers into builders, skill holders into asset owners. Consider the possibilities. That technique you developed through experience could become a workshop. A skill you mastered years ago might become a digital course thousands learn from. A talent you barely noticed could become the foundation of a brand or a content library, generating ongoing income. These skills aren't random or ordinary. They are powerful assets that can work for you, not just something you use for work. The modern world rewards those who package their skills, not just perform them. Whether you know how to break down concepts, keep conversations engaging, lead, negotiate, or observe details others miss, you have potential waiting to be unlocked. Technology has created more self-made millionaires than ever before. Not because people suddenly became smarter, but because barriers to turning skills into assets have dramatically lowered. Your unique abilities are valuable. The key is recognizing and leveraging them. The digital world is shattered. Our skills are no longer confined by old limitations. Reflection marks the beginning of this journey. It starts with introspection, understanding what comes naturally to you, even if it's never been recognized. What do people seek your help for? What challenges energize you instead of overwhelming you? What feels effortless to you but complex to others? These patterns reveal your potential's initial outline. Expression follows reflection. Skills hidden inside your mind generate no impact. Public sharing builds wealth. Every piece of content, every lesson, every insight, transformed into a story, acts as a seed. Initially, it might seem like no one notices, but the digital landscape rewards persistent effort. Each expression builds momentum, increasing your visibility and opening new opportunities. Through consistent sharing, you develop something invaluable, your unique voice. This isn't just about how you communicate, but how you approach problems, perceive the world, connect ideas, and create clarity for others. In a crowded digital marketplace, your voice becomes your distinctive identity. Authenticity itself becomes a rare and powerful asset. Once your voice crystallizes, packaging becomes crucial. You transform your skills into independent structures, courses, digital products, templates, guides, workbooks, tools, lesson series, or scalable online services. Documenting your knowledge creates something that transcends the initial effort required to develop it. Transformation follows packaging. This stage demands turning your skill from personal knowledge into a usable system for others. It requires clarity, simplicity, and the humility to continuously refine your delivery method. Your skill evolves from personal expertise to a transferable, adaptable framework. The final stage is expansion. With your skill packaged, expressed, and systematized, you're ready to reach broader audiences and create more significant impact. When your skills are structured and intentionally developed, they begin attracting opportunities naturally. No more chasing or forcing. Clients arrive without pressure, and sales happen effortlessly. Your reputation becomes a quiet beacon of trust, which in today's world is the most valuable currency. Digital assets born from your skills start generating income in almost magical ways. A video earns money while you sleep. A course sells to a stranger. A guide you crafted months ago becomes someone's life-changing resource. A system you recorded once transforms into a perpetual income stream. In these moments, a profound realization emerges. Wealth isn't about working harder, but about multiplying the potential already within you. Your skills are more than talents. They're chapters of your story, solutions waiting to be shared, dormant assets, yearning to be unleashed. By learning to recognize, express, package, and scale these skills, you build wealth from the inside out. You create something that continues earning long after the initial effort. Your identity shifts from someone trading time for money to someone whose mind generates wealth. Your skills become your most loyal employees, never tiring, never quitting, never falling ill. They grow with practice, improve with use, and compound through consistent application. Once they start working for you, your life transforms fundamentally. True wealth transcends emotions, schedules, and energy levels. It doesn't disappear during breaks. Instead, it's built on foundations strong enough to withstand time, crises, inflation, and uncertainty. These foundations are real assets, timeless pillars of financial stability. Unlike fleeting trends, real assets aren't dependent on hype or luck. They don't vanish when platforms change or markets fluctuate. They're steady, patient, and resilient, forming the backbone of generational wealth by serving fundamental human needs. Every wealthy individual builds their empire on real assets: property, gold, dividend-paying companies. While specific details evolve, the core principles remain constant. Ownership represents stability, leverage, and power. Yet most people overlook these assets, dismissing them as too slow or boring. Wealth isn't built through excitement. It's a journey of accumulation, protection, and unwavering consistency. To truly understand real assets, you must adopt a different mindset. This perspective values permanence over thrill, long-term gain over short-term gratification, and steady compounding over quick wins. At first, this approach might feel calm, even quiet, but within that calmness lies a power most people never experience. Real estate stands as the first pillar of real assets, and it's perhaps the most misunderstood. People often imagine mansions or massive investments. The reality is far more humble. Land is unique because it cannot be replicated. There's a finite amount, and it will always be essential. Homes, spaces, shelter, these are constant needs. A small rental apartment, a modest home in a growing area, a shared property, or fractional ownership through modern platforms can all become assets. What matters is their ability to generate cash flow or grow in value over time. Real estate works when you don't, quietly protecting you from inflation and providing recurring income. It appreciates slowly but reliably. Even a single property can fundamentally alter your financial trajectory over years. Gold emerges as the second pillar. Its purpose is preservation. Civilizations have risen and fallen. Currencies have come and gone. Markets have soared and collapsed. Through it all, gold has remained constant. It provides balance and safety during uncertain times. Think of it as a timeless insurance policy for wealth builders. The third pillar is company ownership that shares profits, dividend-paying stocks. These are among the most accessible assets in modern times. Companies work daily, selling to millions, growing their value, and distributing earnings directly to shareholders. Instead of you working for a business, the business works for you. Dividend stocks reward patience. They grow quietly through reinvestment. Each payout becomes a seed for the next, creating extraordinary compounding over time. Wealth isn't about how much you start with. It's about the discipline to continue. The real magic happens through a strategic approach to building assets. Real assets form a powerful ecosystem. Real estate, gold, and dividend-paying companies. Each serves a unique purpose. Some generate cash flow. Others preserve value. Some grow through compounding. Together, they create a resilient financial foundation that can weather economic challenges. Most people never start because they believe real assets are out of reach. They imagine needing massive savings or expert knowledge. The reality is far more accessible. You don't become wealthy before investing. You become wealthy by investing with what you can afford. Start small, adapt, improve, expand. A modest monthly contribution to a dividend fund, a tiny gold allocation, a fractional real estate investment through modern platforms. These aren't just symbolic gestures. They're the quiet seeds of generational wealth. Real assets work differently. They don't require constant attention. They don't react to emotions. They don't collapse because you take a break. They work while you rest. They grow while you sleep. They compound while you live your life. These assets transform your perspective. You stop asking, how much does this cost? And start asking, how much does this earn? Money becomes a tool to deploy, not just to spend. You become strategic, intentional. The designer of your financial destiny, not a passive consumer. True wealth is quiet. It doesn't boast or demand attention. It moves slowly, silently, consistently, like the rising sun, turning tides, passing seasons. When you own income-producing assets, you escape survival mode. You're no longer dependent on a single job or your own energy. Your wealth becomes an ecosystem of support. It grows as you age. It protects you while you sleep. It serves you without demanding your time. The goal isn't luxury or status. It's stability, freedom, peace, and control. The power to make decisions based on desire, not desperation. This is the essence of building assets that pay you forever. Real assets transcend their financial origins, evolving into something far more profound. They become guardians of your existence, creating space for what truly matters. Thinking, creating, resting, connecting with loved ones, and pursuing your deepest passions. There's a quiet, almost imperceptible force in the universe, more reliable than luck, talent, or intelligence. It doesn't demand attention or rush. Instead, it works silently in the background, while you live your life, patient, consistent, and extraordinarily powerful. This force is compounding, a philosophy far deeper than mere numbers or mathematical formulas. It's the intricate relationship between time, discipline, and growth. Wealth isn't built through intensity, but through unwavering consistency. In its early stages, compounding feels almost disappointing. You save a little, invest a little, create content seen by few, open an investment account, and watch it grow by an almost imperceptible amount. The power is hidden, much like a seed planted underground. Consider a seed in soil. Weeks pass, and the earth appears unchanged. Without understanding nature, you might assume nothing is happening. Yet beneath the surface, roots are forming, structure developing, strength building. Compounding follows this exact pattern. Essential work happening invisibly. Then suddenly, everything shifts. Growth accelerates. That tiny seed becomes a sapling, then a tree, then an entire ecosystem. What began quietly becomes unstoppable. Money, knowledge, skills, content, every valuable aspect of life grows through this principle. Tragically, most people quit before compounding begins. They abandon their efforts during the slow, invisible stage, craving instant results and rapid transformation. But true progress requires patience, understanding that extraordinary outcomes emerge from consistent, seemingly insignificant actions. Ultimately, compounding buys back something money alone cannot purchase. And this, the ability to live deliberately and meaningfully, is the genuine foundation of long-term wealth. Without time, people chase new opportunities because the old ones drag on. They abandon their efforts just before the breakthrough, missing the turning point. This is why compounding separates the wealthy from the impatient. Compounding rewards those who stay, return, persist, and trust the unseen. It doesn't demand perfection, only repetition, time, and presence. The magic lies in consistency. Consider investments. A single contribution seems tiny, but over months and years, that small amount transforms. It grows. The money you invest starts earning its own money. Then that earned money generates more. Each growth stage creates the next, sparking a chain reaction of abundance. Skills work similarly. 10 minutes of daily practice might feel insignificant. A little writing, a new technique, a small lesson. Yet over years, these tiny improvements stack, reshaping you into someone unrecognizable from your past self. Digital assets follow the same pattern. A few videos, pages, posts, or customer interactions seem slow. Suddenly, the audience expands. Sales become consistent. Trust multiplies. Systems built months ago generate income while you rest. Compounding is humanity's closest thing to magic. It bends time in your favor. It converts patience into profit, turning small beginnings into limitless potential. To harness compounding, treat time as an ally. Most people race against the clock. Wealth builders walk alongside it. They understand time can erode or elevate life, depending on usage. When you work with compounding, time becomes your greatest partner. Like a river carving a canyon, each water droplet appears insignificant. Yet over years, it shapes stone and transforms landscapes. Small, consistent actions create a path to freedom. The challenge lies in accepting the calm of the beginning. No instant rewards, no dopamine rush, no applause. Your ability starts small, but once the growth curve begins to rise, everything shifts. Momentum builds and results multiply faster than effort. This explains why wealthy people often appear relaxed. They aren't racing for every dollar. Instead, their systems, investments, and assets are doing the work. Compounding provides the lift, allowing them to glide instead of push. Compounding is how life rewards discipline. Small choices today: saving instead of spending, learning instead of scrolling, creating instead of consuming, might seem insignificant, but compounding magnifies them dramatically. 10 minutes daily becomes mastery. One investment transforms into generational wealth. One digital asset becomes a brand. One habit reshapes your entire identity. Because compounding works silently, its impact often goes unnoticed until results become undeniable. Suddenly, your portfolio looks different. Income streams feel different. Confidence, not because you changed everything simultaneously, but because you consistently adjusted small things over time. This is the blueprint wealthy people follow, a quiet strategy most never discover. It builds wealth in the background while you sleep, live, and grow. Compounding isn't complicated or hidden. It's simply underappreciated because it moves slowly and subtly. Once you understand and align your habits, money, skills, and actions with compounding principles, you develop a new relationship with time. Wealth stops being something you chase. Instead, it begins pursuing you. Compounding rewards you even when you're not watching. It builds while you rest, grows while you wait, multiplies during consistent effort. Wealth transcends money. Its energy, movement, direction, intention. It represents value flowing across time, choices, and generations. Money itself remains silent, but how you treat, guide, and protect it gives it voice, transforming temporary comfort into lasting power. Many believe building wealth is the journey's end, yet creation is merely the beginning. True mastery emerges when you learn to protect, and wisely expand what you've built. Wealth is more than just accumulation. It's about creating a lasting impact that extends beyond your lifetime. The nature of wealth is complex. It moves like energy, responding to how you treat it. When ignored, it dissipates. When feared, it shrinks. When misused, it collapses. But when respected and carefully directed, wealth expands. The real battle for wealth begins in the mind. 4 silent enemies threaten financial stability: fear, greed, impulsiveness, and ignorance. These psychological barriers erode fortunes faster than any economic downturn. They distort judgment and push people into choices that can cost years of progress. Protecting wealth requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Money isn't a trophy to be displayed, but a tool to be carefully managed. It demands structure and intentional care. The wealthy understand this deeply. They operate from a place of calm, not urgency. They see beyond momentary excitement and consider the trajectory of decades. Strategic protection involves more than just psychological preparation. Every meaningful asset, be it a business, property, or investment portfolio, needs clear legal, strategic, and financial boundaries. These aren't walls built from fear, but frameworks of foresight. The goal is to create systems that can withstand unexpected challenges. Yet protection alone isn't enough. True wealth creation requires expansion. This demands creativity, reinvestment, and the courage to pursue new opportunities. Money grows in environments of clear intention. Successful wealth management isn't about clinging to what exists, but about designing a dynamic system that can adapt and grow. Ultimately, becoming a true steward of wealth means transforming from a mere earner to an architect. You're designing a structure that supports not just your life, but the lives of those who will come after you. It's about creating a legacy that transcends immediate personal gain. When you limit the potential of your wealth, you halt its growth. Wealth is dynamic, expanding when you expand. Every financial decision sends a signal that can either multiply or diminish your resources. Strategic expansion begins by choosing direction over distraction. It's about understanding where the world is heading, not where it has been. This means continuously reinvesting profits into new skills, technologies, markets, and systems. Money becomes more than a tool. It becomes a strategic asset to deploy with purpose. As wealth starts circulating intentionally, it accelerates. This acceleration leads to compounding, creating growth far beyond initial expectations. But the most profound expansion transcends personal gain. It's generational. Generational wealth isn't simply about leaving money behind. It's about transferring something far more valuable, a mindset of financial wisdom. Wealth is energy, but this energy requires a prepared vessel. Without proper preparation, wealth dissolves in the next generation's hands. Legacy isn't constructed by handing over money. It's built by sharing understanding. Your heirs, whether family, children, or mentees, must learn critical financial principles: how money flows, how assets behave, long-term thinking, protection of earnings, and avoiding financial pitfalls. Wealth transfer isn't about moving assets. It's about shifting perspectives. When you view wealth as energy, your approach transforms. Instead of asking, "How much do I have?" you start questioning, where is this energy flowing? What is it attracting? Who is it serving? Energy amplifies intention. Clear intentions multiply wealth with purpose. As a generational wealth architect, your role extends beyond accumulation. You design structures, trusts, portfolios, businesses, systems, philosophies that continue generating value even in your absence. Paradoxically, the more you build for others, the more your own wealth expands. You become the source of continuous growth, creating a legacy that extends far beyond your immediate reach. Wealth is a dynamic force that transforms based on how we approach it. When hoarded, it becomes stagnant. When directed, it grows abundant. When shared, it becomes exponential. At its core, wealth management revolves around three fundamental truths. The first truth is responsibility. More wealth demands more thoughtfulness, deeper foresight, and greater wisdom. It's not just about accumulating resources, but understanding their potential and purpose. The second truth is movement. Wealth is living energy. It grows when guided, shrinks when neglected, and vanishes when taken for granted. It requires active engagement and intentional stewardship. The third truth is that wealth is fundamentally about energy and value. It gravitates toward those who respect it, comprehend its nature, and use it to create meaningful impact in the world. What emerges from this journey is a profound realization. Wealth transcends money. It represents time, peace, and choice. It's about constructing something larger than yourself, building continuity, stability, and a future that extends beyond your own life. Take a moment to breathe and let these insights settle. True wealth isn't built through rushed actions, but through quiet decisions and gentle perspective shifts. Freedom isn't a lucky privilege, but a structure anyone can construct, a rhythm anyone can follow. Your assets are not distant concepts, but possibilities waiting to be activated. They are seeds you can plant today, even with minimal resources. They are potential machines that grow through consistency, creativity, and courage. You don't need a complete overnight transformation. Begin with one habit, one investment, one decision that honors your future more than your fears. The rest will naturally unfold. Your journey toward financial empowerment starts with a single intentional step. Wealth stirs within you, an inner energy waiting to be fully realized. As darkness falls and sleep approaches, the teachings of this path converge on a singular, profound revelation. Survival was never your true purpose. Your existence transcends mere endurance. You are designed for something far more significant, a calling that echoes deeper than simple survival. The universe has crafted you with intention, with a blueprint that goes beyond basic existence. Each moment, each breath, carries the potential of transformation. The lessons accumulated along your journey are not random. They are carefully woven threads in a larger tapestry of meaning. Tonight, as you surrender to rest, allow these truths to settle into your consciousness, to whisper their ancient wisdom. You are more than a transient being struggling to continue. You are a conduit of potential, a vessel of extraordinary possibility.